I needed someone who could tell me there's a priority, right?
Focus.
Can we focus on the priority first?
Okay.
And then, but someone who also understands that that's how I function and helps me to manage that function responsibly. Yoma did a thing where she made sure that even in my budgeting, she'll say, so, and have you put something aside for your heart? I'm like, oh yes, I did. She's like, okay, cool. She's like, don't overdraft it. But there's a cap to it now. And I appreciate her for that, because otherwise I would have nothing left for myself or for even the things that I want to do for myself.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the StormCast 2026. A very exciting stuff. Now, today's episode of the StormCast is one that is dear to my heart because I get to talk with another one of my friends. To be honest with you, I really have this platform just so I can just do people that I know and I like. So welcome to the podcast. An actor, host, dancer, husband, dad, co-founder of the Do Parenting podcast, Ibrahim Suleiman. How you doing?
we should get one of those things so we can do
Sorry, yeah, I will.
Next time, Abby.
I need gun. Papa.
I don't know. I'm not so sure about that.
No,
but
the small one.
Okay,
Don't worry.
Okay.
Pow.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
just yeah. Welcome, Ivor. Thank you for coming to join
Happy New Year,
me.
baby.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Very exciting. Thank God we made it to January, which is really dope. Yes.
Because 2025 was a lot.
How was 2025 for you actually? Why would you say it was a lot?
So I felt like I had only two hands and there's just so much to carry. So there were periods of the year where it just felt like it was a lot to juggle at the same time. And, sometimes things just slip through the cracks, because you're trying so hard to keep everything in the air that you don't notice certain things just... So I was a bit unhappy about that. I didn't get to do my exhibition at all last year. Primarily because I didn't get to finish the paintings I actually wanted to exhibit. I had others that I could have done, but then I wouldn't have been happy with myself. So creatively, I feel like last year I spent a lot of time, doing outside work and not doing my own creative work.
Like soul fulfilling work.
Yeah, I did. I actually did good work in terms of bankable stuff. The bills were lighter.
Yeah.
Because the income was better.
Yes.
But then I just didn't feel like I created enough of the things that I wanted to create.
That's so interesting. So this is sort of what I wanted to gist with you about, right? Because this is really a gisting podcast. Shout out to you guys that you just come here for my personal musings. But these are our musings now.
Yeah.
This is a collective musing and thought process, because I genuinely feel like I have these conversations so often in real life. And when you have them, you see how many people are thinking about these same issues and how many people are worried. And honestly, part of what the StormCast is supposed to do is help us kind of figure out how everyone is riding out different storms of life, or just figuring out a way to surf through, to make it through. We're just navigating. Yeah. And I really wanted to have a conversation about work-life balance. And that includes dating, that includes marriage, is the whole shebang. Because there's the idea that you can balance everything. And just hearing you talk about how you had a year, like a lot of people, I felt that way as well, where it felt like,
it's quite choking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes it feels a bit disappointing, like you haven't really ticked off all the things you truly wanted to do, but you've done a lot. So people are looking at it from the outside and are celebrating. Do you feel like you have work-life balance?
In general, yes, I do actually. Okay. I feel like I'm one of the people who are privileged to be able to say that and mean it.
What makes you say it? Why do you mean it?
So the way that I measure that is in the amount of time that I can spend with my son.
Voila, Folu gets on.
Yo, Folu, please now, beg now. But I didn't mean it like that. But
No, I'm not beefing you. Don't please continue.
No, I know you're not.
I love that. Shout out to Keon.
He loves you too. He does actually. So he's like the highlight of my day for the most part. So in my head, the number of nights that I get home before he goes to bed is like and I know it's kind of weird, but it's my way of telling myself that I'm present enough. So some weeks I score pretty low, maybe like 2/7. Then there's some weeks that I score like 6/7. And even emotionally and mentally, the difference is very clear for me. Like, I feel a lot more, invigorated. I feel lighter. I feel more on my toes when I spend more time with him. And it helps that he has told me to, with actual words, that he enjoys my company. So, is jet fuel, man. And, because I get to do that, primarily because I'm glad that I've gotten to the stage in my career where I can pick and choose to a certain extent. Obviously, there's certain projects that come your way, and you because of how good they are or how important they are to you, you drop everything. You would just be like, everything just waits. Let me just do this. But then sometimes, for the most part, I'm doing things that I can talk to producers and be like, for these 2 or 3 days, I have to be somewhere else, or I need to do this, or I need these days off to be able to do that. Sometimes I just factor in those days when I'm negotiating, and I'm like, because in my head I'm thinking, if I'm doing this X number of days, I need to be able to take 2 days between this day and this day so that I can spend more time at home, just so that I can be with him. And because Ioma is an adult, right? And she's also an actor and a producer. So for the most part, she gets it. But then the danger is that you now fall into that trap of taking for granted that she gets it. So. But I did balance her. At least he's not running amok. She's not losing her S word.
Yeah.
Everybody's okay. Yeah.
Okay. No, it's cool. I get it. So for you, you've identified very clearly what your priorities are.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. And so you're measuring it against how often am I meeting, how much time am I spending with that priority every single day? And that's the balance. So how do you split that balance with Ihoma, knowing that you're both working actors, you're both very busy? Man, I have a lot of questions. Because, before we even get into even splitting that, because this also I feel like comes down to like choice of partner.
Fam, listen.
So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about dating. I want to talk about choosing your person. And I feel like I saw parts of a show where you guys sort of spoke about how you met, friendship sort of being a basis for it. And I'm curious about how, for you went about choosing your partner and what you think is happening with the way people choose partners in general. And again, if people, Joe,
please.
Is conversation.
Yes.
Enter the comments.
Yes.
I'm curious. Like,
what are the things? Just tell us what you think as well.
Because the stereotype is like, and choose your best friend and choose how many.
It's easier said.
Yeah.
To be honest,
what was that process like for you?
Because there are a lot of factors involved, right, in choosing your best friend. Your best friend might not be, economically or financially viable as a partner. Let's be honest. Let's be real. It's easy to talk in idealistic terms, but if we're down to the nitty-gritty, nobody wants to be shackled with someone who is a boulder or a big massive rock that you can't move.
They don't call you a boulder.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen. Oh, Father Lord. But it is what it is. Some people are great as your friends, but they would not be good for you as your partner. And it is weird that I would say that.
Talk to me. I'm
but
listening.
It is the truth.
I'm listening.
For me, right? Yes, friendship was first. I have to be able to be friends with my partner. Like, I've always been that way. Everybody that I've dated, I've never met someone and be like, oh my God, I'm in love with this person. This person is amazing. Like, just see someone, she's fine. I'm just like, oh God dang. Sorry, can we swear? No.
Already.
Really. Okay. Sorry. So I've never just met someone that you just meet the person and just like, oh my God, like, I meet people, attractive people every day. I was raised around attractive people. So that's not enough for me.
Okay, so that's why you're unmoved. You're like, I've
seen it all, man. Like,
impress me more.
Like, do better. Like, up it up. Stop. This I used to get me into trouble.
Talking while together. Don't worry about it.
We're just talking. Talking. So I grew up around beautiful people. So that was no longer a base criteria.
Okay.
Right? It wasn't a needle mover for me at all.
But was it a deal breaker?
Well, yeah. Like, I want to be able to wake up in the morning, roll over, and open my eyes, and I'm not staring at someone that looks worse than I do in the morning. You get
Continue. I'm with you.
So
That's it's valid.
it's valid.
It's valid.
You need to be able to wake up next to
You should. Okay, you think it's very important to be attracted to the person that you're going to
So
marry.
one of the things that I did,
Yeah.
after I was sure that I was in love with her and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her, one of the things that I did was literally, like, intentionally, I added it to the things I prayed about every night. I asked God to help me remain attracted to her every day.
Ooh,
So
that's
even
a good
it's
one.
an important prayer. You need to be attracted to your spouse. It's vitally important. Like, to this day, if we're in a gathering of people and she's on the other side of the room and I catch her eye or she catches my eye, and people have caught us doing this. You understand? People have caught us looking at each other and giving each other the eye.
Well, I've seen it. You do people
well,
have to
sorry.
comport yourself in
Well,
public.
what-
These are some. In fact,
It's
these
true,
are some of the people we need to legislate
It's true.
against
It's
some
true.
of this behavior.
It's true. It's
Everywhere you see Oma and Ibro,
It's true.
oh baby needs.
It's true. It's
Sorry,
true.
please
Well,
continue,
you're
talk to
worse,
us.
but let's not get into it now. You see this look
Finish
on her
what you're
face?
saying. Finish
You
what
see
you're saying.
your eyebrows just hit your
Finish
hairline.
what you're saying.
Okay.
There,
So,
all these rumors, unsubstantiated rumors. I don't deal in conjecture.
I see, let me tell you people something.
I don't deal
Folu
in
is one of my
conjecture.
oldest and best friends. If I tell you something about Folu is true,
You
But
would
let's-
explain that no evidence. Continue the thing you are saying. You prayed the prayer to God. Let me remain
so I
attracted.
prayed that, I would always find my spouse attractive. I
Yes.
would always find her attractive.
Yeah.
And, we're going into our 8th year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It's been 8
We're
years.
7 last year. Yeah. It's crazy because it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Which is where the importance of being friends, like your spouse has to be your homeboy or your homegirl, whatever anybody calls it these days. Your man is my guy. Now, it helps that we're both in the industry, right? So when she's swamped with work and she has to be away for periods of time, it doesn't make me feel some type of way. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, I'm being neglected. You understand? What it does, where we count ourselves blessed is in the sense that we can both pick up the slack for each other.
Okay.
With Keon, with the company, with work, other things that we're doing, extended family, we pick up slack for each other. And that's where grace comes in. Sometimes your partner, that's why 50-50 to me it doesn't make sense. Whatever percentage you are at, communicate it clearly with your partner. It's kind, at this point, I'm tired, I'm stressed out, this thing is bothering me, or this thing is taking up a lot of, real estate in my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need you to, be here with me or for me. And sometimes we fall into that trap of assuming that, but that at this point in the year, like maybe every April, there's this thing that I do, and so it takes a lot of time. The fact that you know these things doesn't mean that it's top of mind. So sometimes use your words. You're an adult. Tell your partner, oh, remember, this thing is happening this period or so. I'll be a bit, say it.
So what do you say about people? Because I know that, or I feel, not even I know, I kind of observe,
Yeah.
right? That a lot of, especially women, are very much in this space. I think guys sometimes are very much in this space where it's like, oh, well, but if he wanted to, he would.
Hey, that thing is like the biggest scam. I'm sorry, I'm really
Like,
sorry.
Just be a more intentional. So it brings to, I think it brings to bear like certain questions, right? Like, what's the checklist? What are things that you consider necessary, or one should be thinking of as necessary in a partner? I feel like I have now maybe kind of a list. I don't think I used to have a list. I think I used to be more of a vibe person, where it's just like, oh, it's fine, my vibe is. But was I intentional? I mean, we spoke about this, but for years I did not consider marriage like a real viable option. I think very early in my 20s, and then I had one really bad breakup.
We're praying for you.
And thanks so much, I appreciate it. It's that prayer that's brought me to the light. Is that prayer upon my head, to be honest with you. Probably my mother's prayers also, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Drag me back into the light. Because for a while I was just like, man, doesn't really need to. What does it really mean at the end of the day? And there's a part of me that, I honestly still believe that. I think that marriage is a contract, like any other contract, and there are rules of engagement.
There should be rules.
There should be rules of engagement. And I've felt, honestly, for a long time, and in a lot of ways, I still do feel that if there's anyone that's going to be disadvantaged in a marriage, it's usually the woman.
This is not a lie.
And so I'm like, do I want to be trapped? I was like, I will risk my body, risk my mind too. I say it's a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk.
It was very risky. Yeah. And some of these gentlemen, there's skid mark in their boxers.
Carry on.
So, I was a vibes girl. As a result, I'm like, the second the vibes are not immaculate, I'm like, oh, pew.
Otila.
Because that's what I'm here for. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And so I just sort of wonder, so what are the things? Do you think there has to be a list? Because I also have seen people with lists be incredibly restricted. Everything's a red flag. Everything, he doesn't do, for example, we're going out on a date. I saw a girl on TikTok the other day that was like, this guy invited her out for like coffee and whatever. And she was like, he's not an intentional man, that you can't
because he didn't
go.
plan a...
Another one, the girl's friend cut her off. That is the friend who was cut off came to us to complain.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that one.
You see that?
Yeah.
Girl, let me tell
because
you.
she said
let me gist you what happened. This girl comes on TikTok and she says, can you imagine? My friend cut me off. Why? Because the guy she was dating, she was like, I was getting too in their business and I was just trying to help her out as a friend, because he takes her out and he's like, just dinner and movies, like just the bare minimum, basic.
Not your own boyfriend, no. Your friend's boyfriend. And your friend is happy and okay. It's not like you guys not doing. Anyway, so I feel like different things work for different people. I never considered myself a checklist guy, but some of the things that are important to me are important to me.
Like
you have to be, it's important to observe your intended around their own family.
Ooh.
Yeah. And not necessarily physically, just from how they interact or how their mood switches when their family comes into the conversation. If the phone rings when you're together and it's a member of their family, do their eyes light up? Do they take a deep sigh? Like, those little things go a long way.
So what does that tell you? If they're tense, if their family is calling them?
Yeah, so it might mean that there's history of, things are not like, the family's not...
Yeah. And you have to figure out if that's what you are...
Do you want to get into that?
Do you have the capacity?
That's the word, thank you. Do you have that? Do you have the capacity to deal with that, to help them through that? Because they're dealing with something. Do you want to take that on? Do you're probably carrying your own from your own family as well. Do you think that both of you can vulture on it together? Do you think that you're going to have to carry more than the other person? Do you think this person can help you carry? Like, it's a whole lot. So the way that the person is about or with their family is important. And people think that it's only when you see them with the family physically that you can discern a lot of that just by paying attention to their own reactions to the family-related issues. And then another thing that is quite important to me is, what are their values? Now, when people talk about values, it's a very broad, conversation, but sometimes you can narrow it down. Values about giving, and when I say giving, I'm talking about of substance, time, and talent. Now, before we started recording, we talked about how we need to be more intentional about talking to our friends, asking for help, all of that. Mm-hmm. But then there's some friends of yours that come and offer to help. People like that are priceless. The problem is, a lot of the time we tend to take them for granted because they're almost always there. So you need to know what kind of person this person is. Is this person a serving person? Are they the ones who would rather just be present until you ask and then they do? Are they the ones who want to take permission first before they do something for you? Different people for different types for different people. I find that, I'm not I grew up, because I'm the firstborn. I'm really not used to, when people give me stuff, I'm like, oh my God, like, I feel like I have to tell you thank you every day for like the next 2 months.
Aww.
Do you understand? So, but I love to give people stuff. But I noticed that when people help me make things easier, that's the thing that makes me happy.
Okay.
So, as against getting physical gifts, I want to know that, if my phone rings, I don't need to pick it up because this person is going to help me take that call.
Okay.
Simply because phone calls stress me.
Oh, right.
Like,
right,
I would rather
right,
chat all day than be on the phone for 5 minutes.
Right.
So if there's someone who says, don't worry, I'll talk to this person on your behalf, or there's a phone call I need to make and the person says, don't worry, I'll call them and let them know.
Yeah.
It for me is mad.
Oh,
right?
That's so dope. It's like them stepping into the gap for where you cannot cope. It's that percentages thing, right?
It goes along.
It's like lock and key. Yeah.
See, this is why I like
I go
talking to
school.
you. This is why the conversations with
I
you
think
are always
very
fun.
intelligent.
Yeah.
So here's, and I know I have so many questions, and I feel like I've just been piling on the questions. So we're still going to come back to other things on that checklist and what we're considering red flags or not red flags, or maybe it's giving rust. Maybe it's burnt orange. Could be mauve. Yeah. Might not be red. So let's not jump the gun.
Just,
the light might not be clear. You see, that's the issue. Actually, when that flag.
So it depends on how the light catches the flag.
Sometimes the light is dim. Now that light can be dim depending on whether you people are bonding over value or vice. The vice can dim the lights of your inner and outer eye.
You see this thing about value and vice?
Yeah. We come back to don't worry.
Carry on.
We're learning. But I was going to also say, and I want you guys to consider this. Have you ever sat down to think about when you are the problem? About when you are you're dipped in red paint. It's like they tatted like your arm red, because it be like that sometimes, and we don't realize when we're carrying toxic things. I remember the first time I had a conversation with someone, and it wasn't a partner, it was a friend, but I feel like, these are friendship things that happen. And this girl, I mean, she didn't say it was because of me, but I felt like responsible because it was like a school thing. And I remember we then got closer after school and was like, oh yeah, I went to therapy after. I said, what?
Because of you.
She said I wasn't involved. That, to be fair, like I was always in my own little world doing my thing, but I felt like the under of shoe. It was the first time that perspective had really flipped on me. And I was like, I was the villain in someone else's story. And I think that happens also when we date.
Yes.
Right? Because I've had an ex-boyfriend that I realized that, he did some insane, to way. I was frightened I would end up inside the freezer.
Okay, that's not funny, but it's funny.
Yeah, now we can laugh, but it was a real fear. I thought I was going to be on BBC News. So I was running for my life.
Literally.
I share too much of this.
We digress.
But that's a thing as well. And I don't know that, we always imagine, especially women, again, I say this as a woman, I think that we hold very high opinions of ourselves, generally speaking, even when we have insecurities, even when, it's like a reverse kind of narcissism that happens sometimes. Please, before you jump on my head, somebody will say she's doing pick me. I'm picking myself.
Yes, in all things.
I choose me always.
Choose you first.
But sometimes it's rubbish behavior. It's actual rubbish behavior.
So I feel like society has devolved to the level where, forget what I just said earlier when I said in all things pick yourself is bans, obviously. But that's basically what that's what we're doing. So that's what we're doing. There's no community anymore. We're not trying to. There's society, a version of society, but there's no actual community. We're not doing things together. We're not trying to hold each other accountable. We're not trying to, if you show up today with, I don't want to mention certain things, but you show up with things that I know. Leave me alone, Folu. If you show up today with certain things that I know that based on the last conversation we had about where we are, financially, there's no way you could have afforded this thing, right? In the past, I would call you aside and be like, my guy, how manage? Where did you get the money to get this? And even if you had that sort of money, why would you be blatantly splashing like this? What's going on? That doesn't happen anymore. Now everybody's like, hey, Folu, don't blow, and that's it. Like,
so what you're telling me is, if I pull up in a Lambo,
brother,
Are you going to question me?
I will question you.
Why will you question
Because
me?
I love you.
You think I don't have the capacity?
Because I know you have sense. I know that even if you have somehow that cash just show up like that, you know, go collect that money, just go buy Lambo.
How do you test me? God, test
Father,
me.
test her.
Test me with Lambo.
Test us. Test us with capacity to buy
Lambo. Let them threaten me with money first.
Because I will
Let
ask
me know
you,
who I am.
I will ask you, what exactly are they using you for? Dear. But
because I know by Lambo. That's why I'm shouting.
God. So, where were we? Oh God.
Red flag.
Yes.
/ dipped in red paint.
Wow.
Society individualistic.
It's difficult to see.
See how you even remove your glasses so you can see me well. I have put the glasses back on.
Let's not be like I did not clear my eye first. So I believe that we're all the villain in someone's story.
Mm-hmm.
And I've accepted that. I'm at a stage in my life. I mean, I'm old now. I'm seeing gray hairs popping up in random places.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. Some people didn't live this long. We're grateful. Mm-hmm. And I'm at that stage where I feel like it's okay to be a villain in some people's stories, especially if their values do not align with mine. So I check myself. If my values are being compromised and someone calls me out on it or someone gives me grief over it, fair play. You understand? If my values are intact, but I'm having issues with a particular person, I would check to make sure that I'm not the aggressor. If I am the aggressor, I will tell you, don't be annoyed. I will apologize. I will try and fix things. But if it's not something that can be fixed, I will move on. There really isn't enough time or emotional and mental bandwidth to try and be pleasing everybody at the same time. I'm sorry. But at this point, we need to prioritize.
But what if your value is nonsense?
So if at my age, I'm at the point where my value system is faulty, it will not be a single case fix. I would now have to hear it from reliable sources that I haven't heard over the last 3 decades. It would be quite a shock.
What if there are people, because this is our problem.
Are you trying to
people,
say that? Are we trying to say?
We all of us, we are talking.
No, but Folu, are you saying that? Are you trying to say that those of us who have been in your life for like 15 years now, if we suddenly tell you that you're a bad person, won't you look at us and be like,
bloody liar?
Do you understand? You'll be like,
you are a bloody liar.
Wait, no. But you will look at it and be like, so it took you 15 years. That means I'm a bad person.
I'll say, get away.
Do you understand? You will cut me off because it means that unless like 4 or 5 of us sit you down and be like, unless there's an actual intervention.
My brother, when you talk about intervention, I have PTSD. My parents that year intervened me.
She said they intervened.
They intervened me with like 5 different people.
Oh my God. What were
you
doing?
Was
it about career choices?
Yeah, so career, who I was dating. Guys, let me just see my personal life. Guys, come a little closer. Let me tell you a bit about me. Before I was Folu Storms. No, it wasn't even that major. I was dating one Igbo boy that time. That was like my first actual boyfriend, to be honest with you. And here I was, honest girl. Like, I want my parents to know who I am. I want them to see the truth of me.
Mistake.
And my rookie. They called my brother, called my sister, called like my 2 cousins. No. Everywhere I would turn, just okay. Your parents said we should talk to you. Everyone was taking me out to lunch that season. I can't see that
they just want to put food in my belly.
Bruh, they intervened my matter. I was so confused. I started to ask myself, I'm doing cocaine? I don't know. I said, did I pregnant? No. It will reach where people are telling you there's a problem with you.
Yeah.
That you really sit down and you're trying to get to and the final intervene was themselves. My brother at that time, we'd had a long powwow, and my older brother, shout out to Taji, my older brother was like, no, don't worry, we'll have the conversation. So I was like, I explained my case to him. He goes, no, I get it. We'll go in together. I'll, mediate the thing.
It sounds like a setup.
My brother, as we enter bedroom, they don't look at him for face.
Mama just exits.
Get outside, we're talking to his sister. I looked, I said, bro, he said,
don't leave me. guy higher powers.
But let me tell my people something. Stormcasters, my stormtroopers. I sat down on the corner of the floor like prisoner. You know, NGLA. When you
They'll be hugging your knees.
All along. I sat down. The problem with you, and I had an epiphany. And
In the
actually,
moment.
like the light bulb came up. And I said, the problem is you. The problem is you are talking too much. You are trying to convince people who don't think like you and who do not see the world like you and who will never see the world like you. You are trying to force them into your worldview. That is why you are in this situation.
Hashtag never again.
Never again. I said him, I draw line. From my prisoner status on the floor. I'll never forget. I'm clearly, this is why you should listen to the StormCast. I'm clearly just saying, I use this thing as therapy. But I said, I will never again tell you about these personal details of my life unless and until I decide I'm going to get married. And I stuck to it. And it's, you know, sometimes I feel guilty, but you know, you have to also draw boundaries for yourself.
Fair.
And to me, that's part of like work-life balance, because it was really messing with my mental well-being. Because people who I love so much, who I know have my best interest at heart, I know that they love me.
That's the weirdest part about it.
Yes, you know they care about you. You know they love you. And it happens with friends. It could be with friends, could be with parents, could be with siblings. You know that there is a fundamental love there. But you are just clashing. You are not seeing eye to eye on anything. And once I removed that, we actually had a much more peaceful relationship. The only challenge is now I see it in Mumsy's eyes when she's like, so.
That tentative hope.
Then she'll now look down like she just wants to scare me by looking me in the eye. Is there anybody? I'm like, it's okay. What are you saying?
Say what?
We're in the streets.
You're torturing these people.
They'll be all right.
But they'll be last.
Last, everybody will be all right.
And I realized that as I get older, and let me speak for myself, I am a lot less judgmental of our parents' generation.
100%.
Yeah. Because now we're seeing things. Yeah, that's the word I empathize with. Because you see that gap, you don't realize when it feels like it just springs up on you. That gap in worldview, right? They see things differently from the way we saw things, and then now that we're slightly older, I'm starting to see things from their point of view. Especially now that there's a child who is 5 going on 50. The conversations are becoming a bit more. At this point, I was playing with Legos. What's your problem? So I'm now a lot less judgmental. And I'm just hoping that I can do enough, at this point to put that foundation so that he knows that he can always come to me.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's tough. It's tough. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
Being a parent is the most scary, but at the same time, it is the most exciting thing that I've ever done. Like, it's one moment you think you're failing, and then something comes out of your child's mouth and you realize that let's say the win you're winning there's never been winned before. So at the end of the day, going back to work-life balance and stuff, one thing I also try to do is bring as much work home and also bring as much of him to work. I almost brought him here with me today. Yeah.
I would have pulled up a third chair, bro. No, for real, we have a third mic.
And he would have had fun. I probably should have, but I was worried about traffic heading back.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to get cranky in the car. Yeah. But
he's a good man.
I
would drag my offspring.
No, I did wait. Make it just grow small. Very. He go. They drive me go work. Let him see what's happening, because the demands that these people make. My goodness.
Let them understand.
He was asking me the other time that, like 2 or 3 days ago, because we went for a little, getaway for like 4 days. Really nice place, a nice resort somewhere here in Lagos. And, the day after we got back home, it was like, are we going back next weekend?
Oh, is it?
I said, oh.
Is it?
Sir?
Do you have the funds?
It'd be like say you've been did here. Because I'm like, how much do you have? And then this boy proceeds to talk up. So one thing that I learned pretty early is never let your you know that thing they say, they tell men they shouldn't let their spouses know exactly how much. You don't let your spouse know exactly how much you're worth.
Okay.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. Okay.
In fact, we can go right into that.
Okay. Yeah. Please enter.
So before I got married, I spoke to, because I have a lot of older friends, men who are my friends, but are like 10, 15 years older.
That's really useful.
It's very useful.
Yeah.
And I picked a lot of them intentionally. Some of them I picked them because career-wise, they're doing things that, I want to be able to look at and be like, okay, this is possible. Some of them family values, some of them just because they just seem like they're not fazed by the storms of life. Yes. So I spoke to a few of them before I got married. And quick one, do not get married without premarital counseling. Do not do that to yourself. No matter how busy you are, you're never too busy. Even if it's remote or by proxy, find your way. Because there's some conversations that you think you've had with your intended, and when a third party starts asking you guys the questions, you realize that you guys you just skimmed over this conversation. Listen, anyway, and then also have conversations with older couples who you're inspired by, at least by the outward appearance of their marriage, because you never really know what's going on, in the bedroom. Pause. But carry on.
I don't care to know.
Okay.
But I understand. Inside the house.
Yeah, inside the
Okay.
Thank you, dear.
This is problem. This prayer, when you now pray, God, let me always be attracted to my spouse. Now his brain cannot focus.
My bad.
Where it
my
needs
bad,
to focus. Iwoma, you do this one.
She do this one.
You
Anyway,
do this one.
And I spoke to them, and everybody will give you advice, pitfalls, things to look out for, things to be prepared for, things to be excited about. And somebody said, so I was talking to somebody and his friend was there, and his friend was like, by the way, never let your wife know exactly how much you're worth. Like, she should know that, okay, don't be afraid, we're comfortable, things are covered, blah, blah. But never let her know exactly how much you're worth. And I thought about it, I was like, it was weird for me because growing up, my mom raised us by herself, and they didn't her pay slip didn't go to the office, just come to the house.
Oh.
And they used to deliver during working hours. So she'll be at work when her pay slip arrives.
Okay.
And the way it was done, they'll fold it and then they'll just clip it on one end. So if you're creative enough, you get as if it's open the edge, you go see the amount. But my mom didn't even wait for that. She will come home, sit me down, and bring out a what do you call it?
Like a ledger book.
Yeah.
Wow.
She'll be like, so we'll open it, and she's like, okay, so what are the things that are the essentials, the basics for the month, the recurrent? So we'll write everything down.
So you were budgeting with your
Yeah,
mom?
from when I was like 9.
I wish.
Yeah. So, but here's why. I realized later why she did that. Sorry, my voice is a bit raspy. I have a thing. I realized why she did that later as I grew a little older. I realized that it was so that I could keep my expectations in check and also keep my siblings and the expectations in check. Because if I knew exactly how much the family had, I wouldn't be out there making stupid demands. Yeah. And I would stop them from coming to her with some silly requests. Because children are children, they will ask for stuff.
Yeah.
She didn't need that smoke. So I'm just like, so when my siblings are like,
how old were you when this was happening?
About 9. Wow. So, but I'm grateful for it because she did it in a way that it didn't make me feel pressured.
Yes. You were just aware.
I was just aware.
You were informed.
Thank you. Yeah. So I knew exactly how much she was making. I knew how much we were spending per month. I knew how much we needed to put aside in case of emergencies. I knew all these things. So growing up, I've always been financially responsible.
This is why we used to come to talk to Ibrahim.
I'm sorry.
We did not understand the history of it, but now God bless his mother. May her soul continue to rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
No, I'm serious because if you were raised with that, that's part of, she's very much responsible for the aware person that you are. So you're sensitive to what could be going on behind the scenes of any situation.
Exactly.
And you're practical minded enough that you understand how to function and how to exist comfortably without, like bawling every day. It doesn't need to be luxury all the time.
Yeah.
But it can be comfort all the time.
Folu, you're all right. So comfort for me is fundamental.
Yeah.
There are certain things I cannot live without, or rather that I'd rather not live without. I have to have constant power. right? Electricity is like, I would rather spend that money on electricity
Bro,
than,
Nigeria has spoiled us.
my dear.
These what we're begging for in 2026. I digress.
Something that, anyway. So, power. I cannot have a situation where someone walks into my house and, we're thinking, oh, what can we offer them? Options, guys, D. It doesn't have to be, but you should be able to feed anybody that comes to your house. That's how my mother raised us, right? So there has to be food, there has to be power, there has to be water. My needs are very simple. Then there has to be Wi-Fi, or I need to be able to work from home. Everything else outside of that is,
extra, it's bonus.
Yeah. So, and I got that from my mom. So there were things that were like non-negotiables that needed to be sorted out every month. Everything else, figure it out. So when Kion says stuff like, can we go again next week? I'm like, okay, because he knows how much he has in his piggy bank. One thing he will never know until he's maybe like 21 or something is how much he actually has in a bank account somewhere. You understand? So as soon as we realized that we're pregnant, we just opened an account and we started to put, cash into it. And then when he was born, and we now transfer that cash into an account that we opened for him. He doesn't know it exists. Well, one day he will listen to this. It'll be too late by then. Anyway, but he has his piggy bank. So every time he comes home, because they have tests at school every 2 weeks, so he comes home with his test and whatever. So, and he's pretty smart, so he scores really good. But just to keep him feeling like we're not used to it.
Yeah, taking it
we
for
make
granted.
a big deal about it. So we're like, oh my God, you 60 over 60, my boy, and then we give him cash.
Yeah.
And then he goes straight to his piggy bank. So I cannot keep track, but Kion to the last 15 naira, he knows exactly how much. And this boy opened his mouth and told me that he has 1,000 naira. I was like, how much do you think it is for one night in this place that you're coming from? They're asking whether we can go again next weekend. And he said he doesn't know. I said, do you know? He said yes. I told him. He said, oh.
Everywhere go first blow.
See, blurry gone. He was like, okay, can I give him tests at home now so that he can do his tests for some days so that he will now just be making money. I said, wow. I called his mother. I said, listen.
He said, I'm willing to work for this privilege.
I think this boy, we're ready to put him to work. So he has started doing his dishes.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's doing his dishes now.
Okay.
He will earn that money.
Okay.
But you see that thing that he wants to go and do? Yeah. He can't earn enough for it yet. But he will do this work and let him think that he's going to,
You should try.
So
that's fantastic though.
Yeah, so we try as much as possible to do this thing where people will tell you what they think about how your marriage should be or your relationship should be. Don't tell your spouse how much you earn because she starts to make unrealistic demands. Yada yada blah blah. That's another important thing about how you pick your partner. Have these conversations. Know how they look at money, how they perceive income and outgoings. Are they just going to spend on bottles? Are they just going to order takeout all the time? Blah blah blah. I'm not a foodie per se. I like the idea of food, but I don't have a large appetite.
Wow.
I know it's crazy, but I'm for like a long time now. I basically eat like one actual meal a day, and then maybe I just.
Oh no!
I don't really.
I don't even eat for sustenance. I just eat for enjoyment.
So you see, that's the thing. I like the idea of food, so I would think, this thing, I'm craving this thing, and I would get them to buy it or something, and then I'll just have a little bit of it. I'm like, oh, that tasted nice, and then move on. Food is not. Your mom is lucky. So her mom ran a restaurant for 35 years before she retired.
Bruh.
So your mom is a fantastic cook.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do show up for food.
So she was it was one of the things, one of our earliest issues when we got married was the fact that
it's into food.
She was cooking a lot of food and I was wondering why. And she wanted to cook food every day. And I'm just like, they put this food in the freezer. Like, she's like, that's because you didn't eat it yesterday. What to put it? So it's crazy
that's
how
so interesting because that thing will really cause fights.
It can cause fights.
And why to cause fights with me is because I will be eating the food. So I'll now be round.
And guess what? When people are happily married, it's not just food. You expand.
Yeah.
Joy makes people fat.
I started this year in the gym. Workouts.
You can't tension me this year. You say I'm old. It's okay for me to be fat.
I don't want to tension myself.
People like Nora will still give me work now. I'll now start playing, the fat friend.
Daddy.
But I want to do villain roles only. I'm kidding. But Villain roles are fun.
They
They're
are.
more fun.
They're actually
Anyway,
quite fun.
Sorry, where were we?
Oh, okay.
we
No.
digressed too
In
much.
this, so you still didn't answer clearly
Sorry.
why why ideally your spouse for you you think shouldn't know exactly how much you have.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yes.
So I disagree with that. By the way,
Okay.
I think your spouse should know exactly how much you earn.
Yeah.
For the reasons that my mother let me know how much she was earning.
Yes.
So that everybody go know it's in their home. So that we're
everybody
not,
are clear.
make everybody know, say, this is as far as we can go.
Yeah.
That is not to say, however, that there's probably not something somewhere that your man now knows about. You understand? I'm just saying that the reasoning behind it for some people is not the same as mine. For me, it's just so that we're all on the same page and we can plan as a team and know what our projects are and how we want to spend this money and what we want to budget for. But some people will do these things because they want to be able to have secret money that they can use for
it's for the side
It's for the side chick.
Oh yeah, because
Okay,
I also heard that it's very important to spend your husband's money, because if you don't spend it, he's going to spend it on someone else. I heard
there's
that.
There's some truth to that.
I was like, apply pressure.
But do you think that are you part of the school of thought that your money is your money, your husband's money is your money?
No, bro. We both have responsibilities. Like if we're sharing a life and we're sharing a household, like our money.
What's your take on that, by the way? What do you think you would be open to? Sorry, this is
ask because I actually did tell you to come to ask me things. So go ahead.
So what do you think you'd be comfortable if you guys decide to do a split in terms of I'm going to handle this, that, and the other while you handle this, that, and the other every month?
Oh, I mean, it really depends on where we both are, right, in our working lives. Ideally, I don't want to have to think about the house. In terms of heavyweight bills, mortgage, rent. If you can handle that, I'm quite happy to handle household stuff like food, that just things that I would naturally want to be look after anyways. But there should be a division of labor, because what are we doing? It's like a company, because you guys are starting a company.
That's the right idea.
Together.
That's actually the right idea.
You're the founders. So how do you want that to build? I think it's very important that you put it in a contract.
My friends have sense. I'm surrounded by.
But it's the practice is the issue. We can be here
here's the
theorizing.
I'll tell you this. That's
We can
exactly
be theorizing.
And that's what I'm telling you, because it's easier when you know that people you don't see finish, they are doing it. That would make you realize that if this one's where I don't see finish, they do them. That means me if you do them now. Your man, that's what we do.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And you see this thing you said about starting a family is starting a company. That's exactly how, for me, that's exactly how you need to look at it, because vibes will run out. Passion will cool off.
Yeah, I need a hard worker.
You understand? It is important.
Can you commit? Do you know how to show up? Do you know how to clock in, clock out? Are you responsible with money?
You need someone who is dependable.
Yes.
You understand? Someone who knows that. You need project management skills.
Yeah.
You understand?
Or somebody in the team needs it.
At least one person in the team has to have it. But it's great when both of you can. I have a hard time saying no when people come to me for assistance financially. It's one of the things I struggle with. Don't you dare, my nigga, because I know how much I know you're making. Listen, let's not get into it.
Hey, people, don't allow my helper to not see me.
It's true. Please, wow, upcoming. So, and I've always been, and it cycles back to the whole firstborn thing.
Yeah.
So, from when I was a child, I was used to, when we get snacks or we get treats, you just take a little portion and you split the other portion for your siblings, because they're cute. They're, do all of that. And then I just grew up with that. So I needed someone who could tell me there's a priority, right?
Focus.
Can we focus on the priority first?
Okay.
And then, but someone who also understands that that's how I function and helps me to manage that function responsibly. So Ihoma Yoma did a thing where she made sure that even in my budgeting, she'll say, so, and have you put something aside for your heart?
That's such a good idea.
So I'm like, oh yes, I did. She's like, okay, cool. She's like, don't overdraft it. You understand? So that way, in a month, there are certain people that I try to be there for every month because they need someone to be there for them every month. And it's not a big deal. It's not like it's a lot of money. It's just, some people just need medication. It is well.
You're a better person than me.
But there's a cap to it now. And I appreciate her for that, because otherwise I would have nothing left for myself or for even the things that I want to do for myself. These days now I've gotten to the point where she's like, I actually go and say, oh, I want to do this for myself. And then I go out and I buy a pair of shoes that I like sneakers. So I just buy shoes. I for a period of time, for like a few years, I didn't buy a pair of shoes because, except she bought me shoes, because in my mind was like, no, this cash, I would
Other
have,
people
I can split
first.
it for this. So there's that. Then there's also the fact that she, on the other hand, also has a bit of a problem, because she wants to take on the big problems that other people have. Oh, this person, man, crashed their car. And, it's not really their car. They borrowed the car, so they were just using it for a few months. And now the person is like 700K. And all of that. Me, my own, I might be running up like little here and there for a bunch of people up to that amount. But she should just one lump sum. She just do that. And when we met, she didn't have savings. When we as friends. And I think she says that that's one of the reasons why she knew that I was the right person for her. Because when and I met, we had we were just talking randomly about different things. And then I don't know how, I can't remember how the conversation got to the point where she told me that, oh, blah, 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 blah. She was basically living from check to check. And I lost
a lot of people are.
I almost lost it. I was like, that's so irresponsible. Right there, where we're at the restaurant with a couple of our other friends. Right there, she and I just did a quick tour aside. And I brought my phone and I did like a quick ledger thing for her. I said, every month, take out your tithe, put this apart, pay this particular amount, split it in two. Half of it, put it somewhere you don't have access to.
Yeah.
So she didn't have an ATM card, so she didn't have and that's how Yohama started saving cash, and now she's doing a lot better in that respect.
Yes.
So there are ways that she helps me and I help her.
Yeah.
Even in the same aspect. Like, it's not just about money. Sometimes it's even about stuff like my social life. I'm reclusive. My social battery runs out super fast. But over the last few years, she has helped me, get better, show up, be intentional about going for things that I'm invited for. Because somehow I would just this kind of just feel overwhelmed and then I wouldn't go. But now, and it has filtered into my life with my extended family. So now I'm more able to, go and attend certain things. But yeah, anyway, nutshell.
Is there a way that you consider vetting a person, or that one could consider vetting a person for how to deal with when things are not great, when things are not rosy? Because the way life is, and we're both very familiar with how quickly life changes and how quickly things can get very hard to navigate. What do you think are some of the indicators for a person who, and also, can you really know?
So that was to be honest, you really, unless you see them in a situation, like an actual situation, a lot of times it's difficult because people have learned to, there's a word I'm looking for, like, everybody wears a mask.
Yeah, I'm always masking.
Yeah. And some of us are like extremely skilled, like we've polished that skill over time to the point where you really don't know that you don't know anything about this person until, something really jarring happens and then the mask falls off. So for the most part, you really cannot tell. However, one of the easiest ways to vet is look for character points or pointers, really. In this part of the world, we abuse power a lot. And, the parking attendant will relate with you differently from the way they relate with your driver. If you drive yourself, they relate with you differently. If your driver pulls up and you step out of the car and goes in,
I'm a personal victim.
Yeah.
I'm a victim of this.
Almost every Nigerian has experienced this thing. So you hear them telling them, park this thing now. Nobody doesn't. But with you, they're like, oh, no, sir. Okay, sir, I think I can park you over. They'll be it's different. You understand?
Maybe I project like driver to them because the way somebody
I'm tired of you.
It's reckless.
No, I think also it might be the way that you just drove in. You know that Agbero driving used to do sometimes.
Police say I look like I'm going for operation.
Yeah. Wow. If only they knew they were too far off the truth.
This thing you're saying, please. I'm listening.
So I have had situations where just by observation, you can see that, from the way people talk to hospitality staff, security personnel, servers, the way they interact with these people, it will give you a very good indication of they might be nice to you, but are they kind? You understand?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that people who aren't kind lack a very significant amount of empathy. And people who do not have empathy tend to be narcissistic. And narcissists are like the bottom of the barrel. Even people that I do not like, I never hope that they end up with narcissists because they would have you questioning your actual convictions about who you are. I have been with a narcissist before. It's not great. So try and see them in situations where they are interacting with people who they consider beneath them.
Yeah. Who have nothing to offer them.
Nothing to offer them.
So you can see how they react.
It's always a key indicator. If the guy is not nice, is not kind to the person who brings his coffee, sometimes just nod to acknowledge the fact that he dropped it on the table.
Recognition of a human being.
Red flag.
I actually use that a lot. I use that. And so as we come towards the end of this recording, because I could really keep you here gisting forever. One, you still have to think about questions you want to ask me. But guys, we're recording this early January, but by the time you watch this, it's going to be late January. So all the resolutions, all this thing, these also in January that I feel like it has already been a year.
Yeah.
In these first few days, because somebody's president has been kidnapped.
Listen,
travel restrictions have happened. As an African now, the way we're moving is hectic.
You didn't do AFCON this year.
No. Tax is taxing. Bank transfer narrations are hilarious.
You beg me 2K because you want chop, no tax on my beg.
I wonder how do we maintain ginger for the rest of this year? For the remaining 360 days. After we've only do 5 days.
See, and January feels like 2 weeks. So I think that for me, right, I told you that last year I felt like I didn't do enough creative work for myself. It's also, I find that painting is therapeutic for me. It tanks me up, in terms of my emotional and mental battery. So this year, one of the things that I really want to do is make sure that every week I have a day where I just intentionally sit down and just, even if I'm doing line work, I'm just going to do that for that day. Play some music, do some line work. Nothing, if inspiration hits me and I get into full, okay, let's go in, great. If not, let me have some me time. But then in terms of goals, right, I procrastinate a lot. I find that a lot of people who are creative are, the guilt is all over your face, but moving on. So I think that one of the things that I'm going to try this year, I've never done this before, is to actually have someone else who is, I'm going to actually say, okay, this is your responsibility, and I will put some cash behind it. You understand? So I'll know that the person that is harassing me, I paid for that harassment.
How much cash are we talking about?
It will not be you, Folu, because you can drive to my house even if I'm dodging your calls, just to
this
harass
is a
me.
very aggressive way that you responded.
I'm
to
not
me,
even
but that's
sorry,
okay.
but let's carry on.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
So I plan to just be intentional about about focusing and getting those goals in as at when due. And then I also want to be a bit more. I used to do a lot of doing a lot of CSR work years ago. Over the last COVID, after COVID, I just kind of
Change things.
But I feel like this year I need to get back into.
Okay.
It's good to be there for your friends and for your
Yeah.
family, but sometimes even people who are just out there, we need more hands.
And these are things that kind of nourish you, and that's how
Yes,
you
they
kind
make
of
me-
will maintain your.
It helps.
These are the people are finding how to cast you as villain. This is the problem. Is that we're doing nice things up and down, nice things up and down.
No,
If you ask me now, Folu, I've not do not one thing, nobody. Last year, my motto was cultivating wickedness 2025. I feel like I've achieved it. This year, more of that.
But you know what? Knowing you, the wickedness that you cultivated, the people who were on the receiving end deserved it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely justified.
And we need more of that. There have to be consequences and repercussions.
Let me also ask. I saw a post on social media, and I just want a very quick take, true or false, because this was a post by someone called Blessing Adesina, and who put up like a very interesting thread actually that said many Nigerian men are raised to expect service and not partnership. And goes on to say, men sort of support this by saying, I pay the bills, I'm doing my part. And that is used to justify absence at home, minimal domestic contribution. Women end up doing a lot of unpaid domestic labor, all of that. And it's because perhaps boys are socialized to think that domestic work is women's work. They are socialized to believe that being served is normal and that care is not their responsibility. Meanwhile, girls are trained to perform cooking, cleaning, caring, and all of that. Do you think that is pretty accurate?
She's right.
You
She's right.
so?
Like,
I had some men in here earlier debating this matter with me.
nah.
I said I was not raised that way.
See, I wasn't raised that way, right? From a very, you go wash plates, you sweep, you wash car, all those things. My mom made sure that we all could do both. However, my brother and I would make sure that when it was my sister's turn to wash the car or something, we would just distract mom. See, one of us could go wash the car, that kind of thing. But everything else, we all did all of that, which is why she's not wrong. Men generally, and it's not just a Nigerian thing. I think it's global. I think it's just the way humanity has,
it's the
done
setup.
things. It's the setup for how it's been for the longest. But because roles are changing, right? More women are career-based and career-focused and trying to juggle that and the other. But here's what I've loved over the last few years. Because I'm now in the community where, once you become a parent, you just realize that, you're now seeing other parents and they're seeing you too. So you guys are now having conversations. I find that more and more men, at least of this generation, are more hands-on, and we are no longer looking at it like, I'm helping out at home.
Yeah, because it's your house.
Yeah, I mean, bruh.
Helping?
Before I got married, she and me did by myself, So if you were paying, and that's another thing, if you're paying a housekeeper to come and tidy up 2 or 3 times a week,
And
when
you
you
will
get
be
married,
paying.
why don't you continue? Why would you stop doing that? Continue paying the housekeeper now.
Yeah.
It's a bigger house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you keep paying. I'll be honest, it's nice when you're being, it's like having a new mommy.
Yeah.
You understand? When your wife is now taking care of you and doing all of that. It's nice. I'm not going to lie.
I will also be honest, and I discovered this in one of my previous relationships. Like, I do think that women are biologically wired to want to care for people that
say
they
that
care
loudly.
about.
They will
I said it. They're gonna come fight
It's
me.
the truth.
Because it shocked me. I was like, "Is this
me?"
Because when he stained my whites, holy my chest. I was having fever. I say no. What's your breakfast?
Eat sweet. See,
I couldn't believe it.
See,
I
you're
said,
not.
look at me.
a whole me. You now look at yourself in the mirror and say, fine girl.
I told him, I said, you don't know who I am. You don't know who I am. That's why you are. I destroy your whole house. Please,
listen.
notes.
Listen. You see this thing that you said about, women being biologically wired and all of that.
Especially when we care.
That's what I was going to say.
It's the default. We just kind of fall
You can't
into
help it.
that.
It's the same way for a lot of men. See, one of the things that I enjoy the most is the look on your mama's face. Yeah. When something I know that she wants or she needs,
you got it.
I provide it.
Provider.
Listen,
come on.
My chest used to
That
pop.
my friend. That is right.
Listen, and I don't know why. Yeah. It feels like, you went out to hunt and you killed this thing, you brought it. You now sling it over. I'm sorry.
Daddy Kion, calm down.
My bad.
But I understand.
That's basically it. So I feel like, as much as possible, right, society, we need to, as much as we're trying to balance things out and bleed into each other's whatevers, there should be space for everybody, or men and women. There should be space for people who want, because I know people who
just want to do that. You just want to be a carer.
I know guys who want to just provide. I know women who just want to care.
I'm ready to be a housewife.
See, if I'm not going to lie, if it was possible for us to switch roles, let me just be the house husband. I tell you about time.
I just need a sugar daddy.
She should hammer so that I can be a house husband. What? Just paint, play with my son. I
said I'll show you what my salary will be. House manager. I got you. When I lived with people, I realized that I will make a fantastic housewife. It shocked me. It shocked me, but I saw it. I said, actually, I'm fit for it. Anyways, on that note, did you have anything you wanted to ask me?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you talk about how, work-life balance and all of that. You juggle a lot, right? You practice law, like full-time. You're a Nipo baby, so you can say, you can make things happen in terms of your time. Mm-hmm. But I know that legal work, you're there. I've seen you take a meeting. Mm-hmm. And then you're now one of Nollywood's finest. And I'm not just talking about physically. Clip that. And then you're a host, you're a producer, you write, you do voice work. Like, there's so much that you're doing, right? If you could only do one thing, and that's the only thing you can do for the rest of your active work life, what would it be?
Cry.
Okay.
Dang. That's a good question.
And get paid for it.
If just the one thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, like you had to do it as your career and get paid for it, what would it be?
And get paid like what? Like I could live off that one thing?
Yes, just that one thing.
Oh, it'd be acting.
Great. Now, next question. Mm-hmm. If you didn't need the money, you could just, you're just coming to some sort of ridiculous Lambo money, right? That would not shake anything. Rest of your life sorted type of money. But because the only rule would be you couldn't just be traveling around the world and shaking your ass on a yacht. You needed to do something, not for the money, but you needed to be actively doing something that you could show growth in. What would it be?
Probably still be acting.
I figured.
Yeah.
I figured. Yeah.
Cool. Probably still be that.
Next question.
There's another one.
Yes, there's another one.
Okay.
Why do you think that it's taking so many different routes and so many different cycles for you to get here?
I might be mentally unstable.
Fair enough. You know what? Any other answer you give after this is for the masses. This is the answer that I believe.
Honestly, I think I was just designed that way. Because one of my earliest memories is when you go to school and they ask you what you want to be when you grow up. And I had a lot of things that I wrote down, and I went back home to talk to my dad about it for whatever reason. I don't even know why it wasn't my mom. Maybe she was at work, but my dad. And I was really stressed by this as a child. It's a core memory because I remember and I said to him, I was like, I just wish we had more than one life so we could do all these things.
Fair. I've had that thought
and
too.
Then I discovered acting. Ta-da. I think I for whatever reason was built to express in different ways.
Yeah.
I can be really good at it, and I can also be really terrible at it. For somebody whose work that is, and who a lot of my work relies around communication, whether it's performance or as a lawyer. Sometimes it's also when my block is the greatest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've recently come to notice that can also be where like my biggest blind spot is, in the way and manner in which I'm communicating, because I do it for a living. And I usually do it so well. So when there are gaps sometimes in communication.
Do you get asked this? Sorry. Do you get asked this question when you're seeing someone regularly and they're trying to take it to the next stage? Do you get asked this question like, how do I know when you're emoting for real, or how do I know you're not acting? Do you get that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, actors, like people who are good actors tend to be quite bad liars.
Fair.
Because it's not like the parameters are different. Yeah. Like it's different. So, we haven't prepared. There's not rehearsed. Like it's different. Someone who's just a liar is prepared to lie.
Yeah, some people just are just liars. Yeah.
At the drop, like, is the sky blue outside? No. Why?
And they'll give you a reason. And they'll give you a reason why it's not blue.
Some people they're just set up. They're prepared to lie. What
Their
we
default
actually do
is
is default. What we actually do as actors is we tell the truth of a situation.
Yeah.
So we're always looking how to make that thing true. Yeah. Where an actor makes a good liar is where we've had time to prepare for the lie. And if you care enough about lying in that moment, my guy, you could immerse yourself inside the scene. Begin to, it happens like, I'll give you a very good example. One election cycle, instead of being at home when there was curfew, I was in my friend's house in the swimming pool. Swimming,
come on now.
Those were the real Nepo babies. I was giving them. Then I noticed that it's after midnight. So I said, yeah, check out low. And I had one Igbo friend to go and drop somewhere. But I said, I enter the car. Don't worry, come on, babe. I'm going to drop you, don't worry. I didn't know that during election time, it's soldiers that are on the road. It's not the police. Yeah. So I discovered that night. As I arrived the first checkpoint, I first see some boys outside really do frog jump.
Oh, moment.
I said, Jesus. Jesus. As they wound down. Where are you? Officer, I'm so sorry. My office did not let me go inside because the fear was real. Because I was petrified.
So the emotions just spilled out.
They're going to lock me in Black Maria. I don't collect my food. Soldier cannot slap my face. I will not hear again from this side.
I was jump your life.
I was petrified. And I honestly, this is where the patriarchy wins, because
fair enough.
Being a woman, and also I had a nice Weibo girl in the car with me who also looked like she was pooping bricks. Run to your house right now. I'm going off it. I met 3 other checkpoints before I got to my blood pressure was spiked, man, sky high. So I don't even know if that my performance was good, but I believed it because
because in the moment you knew
danger. You're in danger, girl. Like my whole, all my nerve endings were screaming, "You are gonna die." So I don't even know if that I performed well, but I do know that I believed very much everything I was saying at that time, because it was clearly the devil that had me outside that time. And that if I was able to, I would have reached my house already. But clearly somebody held me back. But yeah, I think like good actors are bad liars.
Yeah.
I think that there are liars who decide that they can convert that skill set to acting, and it doesn't really translate.
It doesn't translate like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay, cool.
But that's it.
Because I get that question quite often.
Yeah. How does it make you feel?
You know me, everything's funny to me.
Oh, okay.
So most of the time I'm just like...
On that note, we come to the end of this episode of the StormCast. Ibrahim, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. This episode of the StormCast has been recorded at the CP Entertainment Hub, so big shout out to them for letting us use this space. Big shout out to Akaso Production Design, because they always get my space looking really nice. A big shout out to Rixel Studios, who I appreciate for making sure they come through and get this, and capture my beauty and my essence just for you guys. And of course to our equipment providers, Canon as well. It's been fantastic. fantastic. Thank you so much. The next episode of the StormCast is coming right up. And if you haven't caught up with previous episodes, I suggest that you do. It's brilliant. All this season is going to be fantastic. Don't ask me when the season ends. But yeah, that's that. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.
She said, don't ask me when it ends.
I don't know.
Bruh.
This is the song that doesn't end. It's the song that doesn't end. Oh, you have to take a picture, please.
Oh, yes. Thumbnail things.
I know my own face is